I don't own it anymore, and I'll tell you why. Transparency. The narrative on Apple. 5 years ago, I got into this stock with a story that services and software subscriptions were 2% of revenue, and that they were going to bring a whole series of innovative, what I call Trojan horses, into the market. So people would buy iPads and buy laptops and buy iPhones, and then slowly buy more and more services. That narrative was intact as the stock became the darling of pretty well every institution. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere on this print, and I mean nowhere, I'm listening to the call like everybody else, they say, we're not talking about unit sales anymore. What do you mean you're not talking about unit sales? You're a closed environment. The only way you get back into Apple on a service basis is you got to buy one of these things. And if I don't know how many you're selling, I don't know anything about you anymore. It was seconds after that I exited the stock. It's going to take a lot to get me back in. This is going to go south now because everybody's going to try and figure out, well, how do I measure?
Do they change, Kevin? Do they alter that course and go back to giving us the numbers?
Which they could.
No. I think the market's spoken.
You both say no. You say possible. I say possible.
I have to know. Well, first of all, when is less information better for me?
Never.
And don't ever tell me on a call, I don't care who you are, what I should know and what I shouldn't. I'll decide what's relevant.
So I can't remember another time where there's been this much universal, at least on this small sample size I'm looking at now, negative on this name.
The facts
on Apple.
Yeah. Hey, Scott, the facts on the ground changed on Thursday night. The facts on the ground changed, both in the results going forward and the way they're reporting it. Now, I do want to say something. I still own 2/3 of my position. Why do I do that? Because the stock is going down. You're right. And you know who's going to be buying it? Apple's going to be buying it.
And Warren Buffett.
Well, we'll see about that. But let's not forget the quarter they just had. They blew out the revenue and earnings number. They blew out the revenue and earnings number. They're generating cash like crazy.
Exactly.
So they're going to be buying back shares. In the long run, stock's going to be fine. In the short run, this thing's going down.
Look, this is going to be the first iconic U.S. company to go through an extended period, a rough period. We've seen in others, and I know it's sacrilege to compare it to IBM or to compare it to.
Let's not.
Exactly.
That's a bridge too far.
But to me, you say it's too far, but you would have said that about IBM 15 years ago.
Stop.
Well, I would have.
Research in motion, Steve.
Research in motion.
You guys are going too far.
Too much.
But the facts are iPhones are 53% of revenues in the last quarter. That's a large chunk not to give clarity on. If you take a look at the other companies that cut back on transparency, we see GM gives it quarterly now instead of monthly, right? That's okay, but to remove it completely, particularly from Tim Cook, who at one point criticized Amazon for not being transparent in the metrics of their underlying businesses.
The call when Cook talked about pushing up a basket to the cashier.
That was ridiculous.
And I thought to myself, what is he talking about? And listen, I have a lot of respect for him, what he's done, in the conversion of this company.
Agreed.
Bringing it to $1 trillion. But in that narrative, I'm listening to him saying, I'm pushing the card up to the cash register, and I'm asking what's inside it. Yes, I'm asking what's inside it. I ask every 90 days what's inside it. I want to know what's inside it. And I need to know because that's the only way I buy more services as the Trojan horse marches into the market. I just don't understand this lack of transparency. And it's going to get punished more and more and more until we resolve this.